What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Friends of Mortgage Heroes. I'm Brian.
I'm Will.
And today we're joined by someone who maximizes their life to the fullest. He's a father, a speaker, an author, a man of faith, and a powerhouse real estate investor and coach. Please give a warm welcome to CEO of AH Construction and founder of the TCA Academy, Chris Aguilar.
Woo!
Come on, I'm so honored to be here, guys.
Chris, thank you for stopping by, man.
Yeah, geez, we got the Chris. We got him here. This is unbelievable. I mean, really, guys, people, you don't understand how much this person puts effort into just giving back to the community. You know, we got an awesome cup right there at Starbucks. I had to make sure that I get him something special because you deserve all of that. Okay.
Come on, you guys are so honoring.
Oh, no, it is. But we're just so honored. I'm getting the chills just thinking about it. I can't believe it. But
let's go.
Our boy, he's not Chris. He's a community leader. And that's what that's how I acknowledge you. That's how I see you.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm like, man, you're just that guy that just continues to give. So here we are. We're all here together and nothing but giving. And you guys are going to understand why he gives so much.
So, Chris, coming off your recently hosted Just Maximize conference, how do you feel, man? How was it?
Dude, I believe it was a phenomenal conference, our first conference this year. It was a free conference, so normally attendance is a little low when it's a free conference. We had about 430 people. We had about 1,070 people registered. What was pretty freaking awesome is that I only recognize in those names out of that 1,070 about 80 people.
Whoa.
And I know a lot of people, so it's pretty cool. We're changing a lot of lives. Yeah.
No, and that's one thing you are doing is you're changing a lot of lives.
Yes.
Brian and I we were able to attend, and I'm telling you, I was just blown away.
Thank you for coming, guys.
Yeah, of course.
It was amazing. And even though, 400 people, I feel sometimes that tight pack is what's needed so that, they themselves are going to go out, spread the word, and just continue to build more soldiers for, TCA. So I think it was amazing.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
It was incredible. We had an amazing turnout, had about 45 people that gave their life to God. Amazing. We have videos that we're going to put up in social media soon in our YouTube channel that show, dozens of people in tears crying as their life is changing. Limiting beliefs are being removed, broken, mindset shifting. It was pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
What I really appreciated from it is that it couldn't have came at a better time with so much madness going on in the world, with so much uncertainty.
Yes.
It felt like it was, that calling for a lot of people that they were able to go find what they were looking for, meet with people that, have the same beliefs, the same feel, the same energy, and just be able to take that with them home. I literally felt like, let's go. Like new vision, new energy. Like, this is where I want to be.
Very encouraging, right? Very encouraging, inspirational. And I mean, you are doing great things. You are just like a pioneer of this new AI stuff that is just incredible. And again, I had the privilege of going afterwards, to visit your home, beautiful home, by the way.
Thank you.
And it was just so cool to see your enthusiasm of this new AI tool that you're creating for your students.
It's ridiculous.
Bro, I'm so excited about it that I'm about to start talking.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we want.
I don't want to go on a tangent, but hey, last Monday I gave a class, and in 30 minutes I identified. Were you there?
Yes.
I identified like 180 potential listings with a 95% motivation factor. I'm actually, going to get my real estate license soon because I like to, even though we have people that work for me that have a license, and we pick up listings all the time. I picked up 2 listings this week myself and in our company. But I like to talk about what I do, not what I want people to do. So I have to become a real estate agent because it's part of our strategy. Not that I'm going to practice it, but to be able to just feel good about it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So before we get into all that good stuff,
God.
Let's start right at the beginning. Let's give the audience a good idea of who you are, where you started at, and beyond the real estate, who Chris Aguilar really is. So if you could share with us, let us know, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first generation Mexican American, grew up in Barrio Logan, Shelltown, one of the most. If San Diego, California had the projects, well, I grew up in the projects for those in the Bronx in New York. But
we do have those.
Yes, we do. So grew up in an amazing family. Parents could not give me better principles and morals. At 13 years old, parents divorced. I ended up homeless. 2 months later, my older brother and my grandpa picked me up, and I had the opportunity to serve, my grandparents and be able to get a job, to be able to go through high school, put myself through college.
Wow.
I'm going pretty fast, but then I got a job at 21 with Point International, At some point they were the biggest employer in the state of Arizona, top 3 developer in the United States.
Wow.
And, I earned the job. It wasn't given to me. I worked hard for it. And, became director of operations in their company, built a lot of real estate,
Wow.
Got connected with Bob Gosdell himself, and opened up my own developing company. Then,
Wow.
doing developing, I bumped into fix and flips. So then it was so natural to me, and I started picking up a lot of deals, and it got to a point where it's like I want to cherry pick them, but I know this deal is so good. People wish they had this deal that I don't want. So you know what? What can we do? So we pioneered, what is now called wholesaling.
Got it.
We opened up HouseMax. It was the first real estate wholesaling company in the West Coast.
What year was this?
Had to be 2009, I believe.
Wow. So we're going way back. 2009 with a mortgage meltdown. When nobody's opening it, I'm sorry, everybody's closing everything, right?
Well,
who has I'm just going to say it, who has the cojones to be able to do something like that?
It's we're purpose driven. So
I like that.
I can't give myself, I'm an intelligent dude. I put the work in. I'm competent. I'm integrous. I have the initiative, what we call at TCA, the CII principles. But I can't give myself too much credit. Actually, the whole business of wholesaling, I got a download from God as I was sleeping one day. Woke up, wrote it down, executed on it. It wasn't easy. It's not easy when you pioneer something that no one knows about.
Of course.
Escrow title companies didn't want to work with us. Most escrow companies didn't want to work with us, but we found some people that believed in the vision. And
Nice.
They had the right heart. They knew we were people that were respectful people, honorable people, believed in us, and the game changed for me.
Wow.
We're changed.
It's so crazy to just, take that back and just now that's like the gateway to getting into real estate.
Yeah.
And it's like it's all over the place. People are now like, wholesale. And I'm talking to somebody right here that pioneered that.
That's crazy, right? I mean, that's why I was so excited to bring Chris. I mean, come on. I didn't know that till 2009 when everybody's like, everything's in shambles. Everything's so uncertain during that time. I know I experienced it, but I was a traditional type of lender, right? So we couldn't figure out like how to maneuver out of that and not be traditional. And here you are, non-traditional, which is now so common nowadays. It's like people get a real estate license. They want to be either wholesale, flip and fix, type of person. Just go into the investment world, which is you pioneered this 2009.
But I got to give credit to
what the heck
to those do. So I was the first one on the West Coast. At the same year, there's a company in the East Coast called Fortune Builders. We all know
That's
about
right.
it.
Oh, hello.
Because they came
Hello.
to San Diego. That's right. They came to San Diego. But Than and Paul and all those guys, they pioneered the same thing the same year in the East Coast. And we competed with each other. They did phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's a story behind it, but
We'll save that for another time.
it's a long one. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You're going into the development side of things. Like, I mean, I know when I was a kid, I wanted to be either a police officer, I wanted to be a fireman, everything that your parents want you to be. Yeah. How the hell did you go into like, I want to be a developer or take that job that is in Arizona and you're here in San Diego?
Yeah, bro, you do look like a fireman, man.
You're
well built, so you got the body for sure, man. So I didn't want to go into construction. I went to San Diego State and got my degree in international business because I thought I was going to be doing import-export around the world. I didn't want to do construction. I actually disliked construction. But when I was 13 years old, my dad was an evangelist growing up, and I would always go with him, even though I wasn't a believer, but I liked hanging out with my dad. And one time I'm in the back of a church, and had to be like 12, 11 years old, right before they got divorced.
Yeah.
And I remember that the pastor, at the end, when my dad finished preaching, the pastor called me to the front. I'm like, me? I'm like, dude, I'm just here to be with my dad. Calls me to the front, prays for me. He says, hey, I see a lot of wealth coming to your life. I see you owning a construction company. I see you building churches. And I opened up my eyes and I looked at my dad. I said, I dislike construction. Because I was like, close your eyes. But God did something where I remember like as if it was yesterday. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
So I go to school, start applying for all these jobs for import, export. No one hires me.
Ooh.
It's like, what? So then I see on Craigslist a couple ads back in the days. I'm dating myself right now. Yeah. You go on Craigslist and jobs.com and sending my resume, and I see I see an opportunity to be a project manager for a construction company.
Wow.
That's something that came natural to me. It was my family. Construction did. I said, I'm going to apply for it. And I'm going to request, like, I think it's $57,000 a year right after school. Back then, it was a lot of money.
Of course. What? And I'm sorry. What? How old were you at this point in time?
I was probably like 20.
Okay, because we're at 13, and then I just want to make sure that we understand
filling the gaps.
Yeah. I'm like, 13 is already applying. Like, what
Oh,
the?
I'm sorry. I just
No,
I
you're
went through-
good.
I was like,
So we're 20 at that point in time.
Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we went and applied for some jobs, hoping not to get them. And every construction company I applied for hired me.
Oh wow.
Dang.
I mean, I have a degree in international business management in Mexico and the United States. And I went to probably 50 interviews. No one hires me.
Oh my
I applied
God.
for 1, 2, 3 construction companies. They all hired me. So I said, what the heck? So then I said, you know what? I'm going to go and do this big. So I looked for like the biggest dogs in the block nationwide.
Yeah.
And I applied. And I liked this company, Gosnell Builders, because they had presence around the world, throughout the whole country, but not California.
Gotcha.
I said, I'm going to capitalize on that. So I show up to their office, ask for a job. You know, Aaron, that's a pretty cool story. Actually, I'm not going to skip that.
Yeah.
I applied for a job. The guys agreed to see me. The executives, they're old timers at the time. The youngest executive was probably like, I'll say 60.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was a pretty big company.
Wow.
They've been in business for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm applying to be a senior project manager. And the director of operations, Steve Bears at the time, comes out. I'm understaffed, with my suit and all that. And he looks at me and just goes like this over the counter and tells the executive secretary, we're smiling like 1 o'clock.
Oh.
And she goes, this is Mr. Aguilar, Allison Glenn says. And Steve goes, I'm sorry, son, I don't have time for this. And just walks away.
Oh.
So being Chris Aguilar, dude, we don't take no for an answer. I chased him.
Are you serious?
Let's go.
Yeah, I chased
Let's go. Hey, come here. Ven pa' acá.
Yeah, come on, dude. So I said, hey, Mr. Bears, I know everything about your company. I studied you guys, and you guys need me. And I said, give me 5 minutes. He goes, you're already in my office. Go ahead.
Oh.
And I said,
There you go.
I'm not going to play the victim role that you're racist because everybody's white here and I'm Mexican. I said, I'm going to tell you that you're thinking that I'm not competent because of my age.
Yeah.
I said, give me the worst project you got. I know the plans are going to cost about $300. I'm finishing my degree. I don't have a lot of money, but I'll pay for the plans. Give me 7 days and I'll come back with a budget subtrade assemblies, schedules, subcontractors, consultants, architects, engineers. I said, give me
What?
7 days. The worst project you have here in San Diego, you need me. You have presence all over the country and the world, but not in California. And the owner, Bob Gosnell, lives in Point Loma. I said, so he wants to move permanently to San Diego. You guys need me.
Whoa.
And he said, well, jokingly said, Steve said, well, if that's what it'll take to get you out of my office, I'll gift you the plans. I came back, and that's where the ice bucket story is famous because I worked, pretty much 6 days nonstop, slept very little. Didn't like coffee back in the days, never liked drugs, nothing like that. So what I did is I went to the backyard of my parents' home and grabbed an empty paint bucket, 5-gallon paint bucket, put water and ice in it, put my feet in it so that I wouldn't go to sleep.
Whoa.
And
I never heard of that one.
That's oh wow.
yeah, and that's how I was able to finish my projections for that job, which actually it's called Lakeview Condominiums now here in Rancho San Diego, 274 condominiums that we developed. But at the time, it was just raw land, right?
Let's go.
And so I show up, and Steve Barris looks at it, and he goes, "Where'd you get this from?" I said, "Sir, I didn't get it from nowhere. I built it." And he goes, "1 second." He's in his beautiful executive office, turns to the back to his older desk, opens up his briefcase, and he came out with his projections, puts them next to my projections. He goes, the margin of error is like 5%.
Whoa.
That's incredible. He goes, it took my project managers in my Arizona office 3.5 months to do this. How'd you do this? And I
In
told him
7 days.
Ice bucket.
6 days. One day before.
6 days. Sorry.
So
Jeez.
I remember because I didn't sleep much.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, give me the 6 days. I said
did it.
6 days. So it was beautiful. He goes, I'm gonna give you a call. He said, I'll call you back. So he called me about a week later, and instantly I started experiencing wealth. I became, for the next 6 months I was a project manager. Unfortunately for Steve Bears, and fortunately for me, about a year into it, I took his job.
Gotcha.
I became the youngest executive in the history
Oh
of that
my
company.
God. The first Hispanic in there, huh?
Executive, yes.
Yeah. Wow. Congratulations. That's crazy.
So that's the story. That's how I got into what a long explanation. But
No,
no,
that's awesome. I
so
mean,
much
here you
context.
are in the waiting room. Here comes you had an appointment and he's trying to disregard you, but you're not taking no for an answer. You're
right.
going in with confidence and I'm going to get the job done.
Yes.
I mean, I don't understand how much more that can't be encouraging to somebody that, here we are. I studied something, but I'm going to try to go do something else. It's not working out, but I am determined. And that determination, I know, is something that you continue to apply on your day-to-day basis.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to say something because I got to honor Steve Barris. So Steve Barris is like a father to me.
Awesome.
One of my American, fathers, role models. Steve Barris is the only person that I know in the country that a president of the United States walked into his office to give him an award, best builder in the United States.
What?
Wow. Yes. So that's the caliber of people that Gosnell had in his office.
Wow.
So his boss, Bob Gosnell, gave me his job. I quit. I resigned immediately. I didn't tell Steve, and gave him my letter of resignation, and I, put everything in my little box, and I was leaving. He chased me out to the park, and I goes, "What's wrong, son?" He goes, "What is it? Money? Like, just tell me whatever you need." Like, I was very valuable to their company.
Yeah.
And I said, "No, I'll talk to your best friend." And he goes, "Chris, I get it. Don't worry.
What?
I don't get fired. I quit." He goes, "Watch."
Wow.
So he goes, "Please don't leave. Please don't leave." So he made me understand. He went and talked to Bob. He quit. He made me understand that people like him don't get fired. And he convinced me to build our babies. He goes, "You and I have worked very hard in all these projects, Chris, here in California." He goes, "Don't let somebody else just come and take the benefit of all of our hard work."
Wow.
What?
He goes, "I want you to do it." So that's how I took his job. It was very honorable.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
no,
pretty
that's
cool.
crazy.
Dang, dude, what the heck, Chris? See, these are the things that I've never known in the time that we've spoken. We never really got to the meats and potatoes of this.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing all that. That's just
I'm honored.
It is just so powerful, and thank you.
Yeah.
So when does Netflix come in?
Right.
I literally just pictured the whole thing.
I mean, can you imagine, Brian? You're driving by and you see all these buildings right there, and you're like,
I co-signed on that. He's like, "That's
Exactly.
me. I did that. Yo hice eso."
So
So
it's pretty
super
awesome.
dope.
yeah. So you're gaining experience. You're working with this development company. When do you start transitioning and seeing, hey, like, I want to start going into the investment route? When do you make that bridge, or how does that come about in your life?
See, I believe the biggest thing that holds people back is that they want to reinvent the wheel. I saw that the success people had, like billionaires that I saw around my life, and multimillionaires, is they had three things. They had the vision. You got to be a visionary.
Of course.
They had the knowledge, and they took action. Those three
Nice.
things. We know that people perish for lack of vision. Entrepreneurs, suck at what they do sometimes because they don't have vision, right? But then you have entrepreneurs that have the vision, but they don't have the knowledge, and it's sad because they want to go out and take action. And if they have the vision and they have the action, but no knowledge, that's destructive.
Yeah.
Then you have the entrepreneurs who have the vision and the knowledge but don't take action, and they're just an idle, like a neutral. They don't go anywhere. So I realized that I needed to have, the vision. I had the vision of what I wanted to do. I was in the steering wheel of my car, and I had the knowledge that I learned, and I took action. Massive freaking action.
That's where it's all at,
So to answer your question, the reason I say that is I knew that I wanted to be able to make a change in my family. My family, when my parents got divorced, we went into poverty, and I said I don't want to ever experience this again in my life, and I don't want my siblings to experience it. And I would give jobs to everyone in my developing company when I build mine. And I started developing a passion for developing. I hated construction. I don't hardly ever use that word. I hated construction.
development.
Now I have a passion. So one advice that I give young kids when I coach them, or anyone, adults or kids, but is don't look for something that you like to go out and do.
Yeah.
No, grab something that has the ability to give you enough money to live the type of life you want to live. Become the freaking best at it.
Wow.
He goes, and then you're gonna have passion at it. If I ask you a question, Memo,
Yeah.
Tell me a sport that you like to play. Any sport, basketball,
Soccer.
Soccer. Okay, soccer.
Typical.
Okay, tell me a sport that you don't like.
Baseball.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'll be willing to bet you some money.
Yeah.
And I don't really bet, but I'll bet you some money that you're a better soccer player than a baseball player.
I would say that.
Okay, cool. Using that in reverse engineering it,
Yeah.
you develop a passion and you like what you're
like
good
that.
at, not what you suck at. So if you master something, trust me, I'm telling you, you will freaking master it and you will love it.
I like that.
So that's how I went into developing. It's not a perfect thing where I just had the vision. I'm gonna be a developer. It's amazing. Let's go out and do it. It was the perfect timing. No, none of that. We created the moment. We seized the opportunity, and
That's
here we
freaking
are.
awesome,
And
dude.
here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, you just grabbed it. You took action. And
Yes.
that's what you did on your first conference that you just did. You took action.
Yes, we did.
And I mean, you say, hey, we had like 400 people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. Again, I was privileged to be a part of that. And just to see how you took action up on
Thank you.
stage, it was freaking super
Yeah.
dope. I mean, there was a lot of times where I get like these,
Chills.
goosebumps and stuff, I know him,
That's the Holy Spirit right there, bro.
It totally is, And one thing my mom used to always tell me in Spanish is, dime con quién te juntas para decirte quién eres, And English is, tell me who you hang out with so I can tell you who you are.
Yes.
And I'm just loving the people that, as I get older, who I'm getting surrounded by,
Yes,
right? It's so encouraging. It's so inspiring. I see what you're doing and what you want to do. It's just, I want to be a part of that. How do I tie rafts with somebody like that? And how do we create this value?
It's pretty awesome that you just say that, because I believe that's the key to success, having good community. That's one of the keys to success. Yeah. Just this morning, I was talking to a good friend of both of us, Oscar Barba, and I'll be a little vulnerable right now. I said, hey, dude, I heard some things yesterday. Somebody opened their mouth and started saying that, oh, Chris wants to use, God to make money.
Oh, God.
And I said, dude, I feel like punching him in the face.
Wow.
I said, but Oscar, what do you think? How does it look from the outside? And he said, bro, your heart is evident. He goes, you didn't sell anyone. You bought everybody a $60 plate at your venue. You financed everything. He goes, dude, a year from now, Chris, everybody will know your vision because of success that God will give you.
Exactly.
Your heart is evident. So, dude, who is that guy? I'll go punch him for you. I'm like, no, it's not just one, man, But
you got soldiers, but you know what? We all have one of those.
Yeah.
And that's what actually makes us more, it makes us stronger, right? As we go,
Yes.
bro, that's water under the bridge. Who
Yeah.
cares? We're moving on because your vision's much greater than you.
Yeah.
yes.
And the people that you're impacting along that way is much bigger than you.
Yes.
And you're already creating that. So, we're going to have, what's cool about it is when we don't have these followers, it's kind of cool because they're the ones that making us look better, right?
Yes.
Because then you have people like Barba, like myself, like, bro, you're so full of it.
Yeah, heck
Like the actions speak louder than words. When have I seen you go out there and give back to the community or do anything? Like they just don't. That kind of person doesn't.
And I think that's
I wonder how much that guy gives back to the community. Right?
no, and it's a true testament. Like I feel that that's the enemy trying to be like, hey, let me throw you off your game because this and that. But your strong community is the one that lifts you up and say, no, let's not focus on that. This is the purpose over profits, and that's the vision. So
Yeah. I mean, that's what
on.
happened in your 2009 when you were starting your wholesale and you started that journey.
Yeah.
You had all these people not believing in you. You were just saying escrow and all that. Well, that's that same type of person that's kind of saying that, So I
Yes.
get so passionate. But we're
Yes.
a lot in similar ways, in the ways that we want to get back. And we always have these people that just try to let us pump the brakes. And sometimes that's like the closest people to you, like
Yes.
family, right?
Yes.
And it's just, mentally, they're not trained because I'm sure there's times where you wanted to just quit these things and say, hey, I have enough. I've done enough. How do I enjoy my family and just be done with this? Has that ever come to mind?
So we went on vacation to Europe. Went to like 4 or 5 different countries, and even went out of Europe for a little bit. Came back in, and my daughter's into theater, and we went to this theatrical play in the Cambridge, Theater of London, and they were playing one of her favorite plays, Matilda. So we went on a daddy-daughter date, and she loved it. She asked me if she could try out and moved to London for 3 months. And it's a beautiful thing that I said, yes, you can. I said, we'll move with you
Whoa.
for 3 months. He goes, what? He goes, yeah. So then we went back to our, place, our hotel, and she told Denise about it. And Denise is like, you're serious? I'm like, yeah, why not? We homeschool our kids. I said, our businesses,
Denise, you're...
My wife, my wife Denise.
Perfect.
And so that's a beautiful thing about living in freedom, that nothing will hold you back. So we gave Brianni, my daughter, some homework to do. If she does what she's supposed to do, she hasn't met that criteria yet. But if she meets it, we'll go to Europe.
Dang.
Yeah.
You know, oh my God, that's so awesome.
So it has to answer your question, it has crossed my mind where it's like, man, this is good to stop. Like when we said that, I said, hey, we don't need to do this. Like I could retire and like not have to work the rest of my life with what God has given us.
Yeah.
Just sold everything in the U.S., moved to Europe. That's pretty cool. But then I don't have to be, finding out all these haters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the opposition is always hard. But if you're a champion, you know that adversity. The way you beat adversity is by facing it and running right at it. If not, it just chases you for a longer time. It's like a storm. So it is. It happens to all of us.
Of course, the mindset's it's a powerful tool that we have right there. And it's how we manage that and who do our surrounds with. I mean, you talk about your wife. One thing I see, bro, is, my God, do you have the number one supporter fan right there just cheering you on, bro. Like, if I could give her pom-poms right there, like, I knew she would be like, that's my hubby, right? And your kids, so fascinating, man. They're already so ambitious, so well-mannered. I'm like, oh, my God. If I had what they had, I'd be so spoiled at their age. You know what I mean? Papi, whatever, But that's a tribute of the role model and the community leader that you are, that you're committed to become. Again, it's very inspiring, encouraging, and thank you for sharing that, because not everything is always great and gravy, perfect.
No.
We have our moments where we have our doubts.
Yeah.
So
absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's good. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about your principle of delayed gratification? Right now, I feel like, everything's at their fingertips. Everybody wants it now. Yeah. How has that, transcended in your life, and how does that help out your kids as well moving forward and sharing the vision with them?
So my son, like the latest thing with delayed gratification. By the way, the principle of delayed gratification is not buying things with your disposable, your earned income, but with your passive income, residual income. Even if you have the credit or the means to do so.
Yeah.
And we hardly ever break that rule in my family. So, we have a hope. I mean, everything that we have is given to us by God, but through delayed gratification.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I mean, the cars we drive, the home we have, the private schools that we had in the past, the everything.
Wow.
Well, my son, and his birthday last October, this is a Lamborghini story. I don't know if you heard it. But so he's playing this little game. I forget what the name is. And he drives his Lamborghini in this game, blue Lamborghini. So for his birthday, he gets up and goes, Daddy, it's my birthday. You gonna give me a gift? I already got you a gift. He goes, No, I want to pick my gift. Okay, what do you want, son? He goes, whatever you want, man. Just ask me. And he goes, a blue Lamborghini. And I said, it won't get here on time from Amazon, mijo. I think I want like a plain Lamborghini. And he goes, no, let's go buy it right now in the dealership, like Beverly. And I said, no, you can't even drive, son. He goes, no, you're gonna drive me. And I said, no, son, we don't just go buy stuff like that. Daddy, we're rich. And I said, yes, we are, son, but we're rich because we buy apartments, and the apartments pay for our stuff.
Yeah.
And he started crying. So then I take him to our master bedroom, my little office in my master bedroom, and I open up the computer, and I use our programs, and I identify some properties in Chicago. And I said, look, this is what we need, something like this. And I did a pro forma super quick for him. I explained. He's 6 years old.
Wow.
Well,
6.
Dad's going over a pro forma with me.
Well, he went on. I spoke at a conference 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks prior to 3 weeks ago now. And he went on stage. He just walked on stage. I was talking, and he just walked on stage. He's like, "What's up, Dad?" It's like, "Oh, Chris wants to get interviewed, son. What do you do? What do champions do? Win. They win. That's his thing. We win. That's all we do. We win, Daddy. We just win.
Let's go.
Okay, that's true, son. What kind of car you want to buy? Blue Lamborghini. And I said, okay, blue Lamborghini.
He's stuck with that.
I said, son, but how do we get the blue Lamborghini? We have to wait for apartments. That's the principle of delayed gratification and building legacy.
I love it.
Yes, that's all. Because we're so reversed.
Yes.
We're trained.
Yeah.
We're trained to get your credit on check. And at an early age, like I put my kids on a credit card so that when they want to purchase something, they can do that. And we trained them like that.
Yeah.
So I like the way you're actually training. It's like, no, you got the credit. Let's get you the credit, but before you make the payments, how can we get you to invest not only in yourself, but in others so that somebody else can take care of that debt for you?
Yes. You know, it's important that not because you have the capacity that you do.
Yeah.
You know, not because somebody is coming at you and you have the capacity to hurt that person legally or physically, you're not going to go and just do it. No, you're the bigger person and you just walk away, right? So that's the principle of delayed gratification.
Yeah.
I believe that even stewarding our children, it's necessary with that. My daughter went to this private school and everybody's wearing like $120 shoes or $300 shoes, and I'm sorry, 120. That's what she wears, but no, more like $300 shoes. Like $300 shoes, or $1,000 purses.
Yeah.
And just a little girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so she comes home and she's like, Daddy, I feel left out. Everybody's wearing the fancy jackets and the shoes, and like they're making fun of me. And I said, so what do we do?
Yeah.
Let's go buy some. I said, no, I'm not gonna. But we have money to do that. I said, yes, we do. I said, I bet you, and I'll be straight up. I said, whoever's wearing those shoes, mija, I said, they probably don't have the money that we have.
Yeah.
I said, and she said, okay, so then what are we going to do? I said, you're going to go out and you're going to win friends with your character, with your integrity, with who you are. I said, and when you stop dealing with this, and it went on for like 6-7 months.
Wow.
At the end of 7 months, when I started seeing that it no longer was an issue, we took her to Nordstrom and buy her everything she wanted, everything she wanted. And I said, because we can.
Yeah.
And she goes, thank you, Daddy. It's like, yeah. It's like, why not? That's what money is for, to spend it.
That's right.
But we don't do it for the wrong reasons.
Correct.
So, yeah.
No, that's awesome.
That's
It's so true. You did mention now they're going into, you guys are homeschooling them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's probably because of that.
No, it's a different thing.
I'm curious about that because my kids are young. He's 2 and the other one's 6 months.
Yeah.
And we're at that age where I'm like, well, with everything happening, I'm like, I don't know if I trust, certain establishments the way that I'd want them to get taught, certain values, certain principles and things of that sort. So curious, how does that work? And how do you enjoy that or don't?
So, it happened to us organically. Now, thank God it happened through COVID. COVID brought so many blessings to us.
It did.
And pardon for even saying that. I know people who passed away through COVID, friends that have parents that passed away, or a brother. And it was terrible. It was a terrible situation.
Yeah.
But hey, I almost kicked the bucket for being stubborn and playing golf in the rain with COVID. So it was terrible for me too, physically. But it's important that we understand that we have to stay true to who we are. That's what I would say. Just stay true to who you are.
No, and I tell you, COVID did change a lot of things. It changed people that had a commute for an hour or so. Like now they're working at home. So I understand what you meant.
Yes.
It was in a good way,
Yes.
It taught us how to maneuver through certain challenges that we thought we had, realizing that those aren't even challenges, right?
Yes.
Kind of like what you started with your developing company, your fix and flip, your wholesaling.
Yes.
We always put these challenges on our mind. But once we start kind of moving through and we take that action that you said earlier, right? Things just start kind of coming into place. It's like those building blocks,
Dude, one of my favorite quotes of all time. So, by the way, you said if there was a movie coming out of my story.
Oh, yeah.
Shoot. Well, there's a book about it.
Hey,
It's called Just Maximize.
Let's go.
So, a book that talks about my life and then talks about real estate, the BFWDR strategies. But
Is that your first book?
it's my first book. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
How
it's
long
pretty
ago did you?
So I wrote about, what is it now? About a year and a half ago.
Okay, nice. Yeah. And we'll make sure to put it down there. So if you guys want a copy, just go in there, and I'm sure it's available in Amazon.
Yeah, actually is only available in our conferences.
Okay.
It's not really anywhere. I found that when people really want something, they'll come and get it.
Awesome.
So
Good.
If you really want it, reach out to me and I'll send you one.
Please, you know what I mean? I want. I didn't know. Now I know, and I'm gonna get that. I want to know more about Chris.
Let's go. Yes.
So you mentioned BFWD. Can you elaborate a little bit on that as well?
Yeah, so those are real estate strategies, the BFWDR strategies. So the B stands for buying and holding real estate. The F stands for fixing and flipping. The W for wholesaling.
Okay.
And then the D for developing and redeveloping property. And then you got the R for real estate listing strategies. So when we look at property, like, dude, I picked up the listing on Monday. I picked up 2 wholesales on Tuesday. I picked up the redevelopment on Wednesday.
Wow.
Today's Friday now, right?
Yes.
And then yesterday I picked up 2 ADUs. So That is because I look at real estate with the BFWDR strategies. Imagine if I'm just a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to pick up listings. I would have picked up only two this week.
1 or 2, yes.
Yeah. So we actually I'm trying to get a listing today, and I want to have you guys come with me because they need a loan.
Nice.
The guy I talked to you about?
Yes.
So I'll be prophetic. It'll be 2 this week.
Let's go.
But it could have been, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could have been, it's going to be about 6 deals, hopefully, by the end of this week.
Amen.
Myself, not
awesome.
the team separate, just me in 1 week. Because I look at real estate with the BFWDR strategies. If I just had the lenses of a real estate agent and I'm going after listings, I would have gone from 6 deals to 2 deals.
Yeah.
That's the biggest difference in our students.
Yeah, I like that, the way you're looking at it. You're like an engineer, right? You're looking at the different ways how to get it done.
Yes.
And what's crazy is your head, you're already prowling the numbers, and
Yes.
because of your experience, you're already helping put things together.
Yeah.
And this is something you're actually teaching to all your students. This is what
Yes.
you got on
Yes.
Maxim to train. Like, this is what you're doing. You're starting a school that
Yes.
you're going to be training.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you're creating a community.
Yes, it's a movement. Yeah.
Because that's what it is. When I went over there and I saw the people that are surrounded, that are supporting you, I felt like part of this community,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. And you know what? It's awesome that you said how you said it's awesome how it sounded. You said they're supporting me. And because we all came to serve. You see, really, I'm serving them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm serving them.
Crazy.
Like, but some people feel like they're supporting me. And I don't need to be here. I don't need to be there. I'm here because I want to be. I was there because I want to be, not because I have to be. And it's beautiful that when you do things like that, you're right. People do serve me back.
Yeah.
Like I'm surrounded by very competent individuals, that just want me to win. Like you, Memo.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like
Yeah.
you, Brian. Like Andy. It's beautiful. I have a friend who just called me. He goes, dude, I'm going to go to Aspire, meet with the owners of Aspire this Saturday. Could you please come? It's $35,000. I got you a ticket. And I said, no. No, Saturday's for my kids. The wifey says, Chris, you should go. I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
I've only been to one conference in my life outside of my church conferences and TCA conferences.
Wow.
Or conferences that I speak on. It was an Andy Elliott conference. And I asked
Oh, let's go.
Dang,
I
Andy.
love Andy Elliott, but he had Wes Watson in there, and I'm not really cool with that cat. But
really?
Just saying it like that. But I got called out.
Yeah.
But one of the people that was at the conference said, Chris, I think your conference could be done with more excellence.
Of course. We always could work at
Yeah,
things.
yeah. And I said, you're right. I believe so. What do you see? What can I improve? Please speak to me. And he said, well, how many conferences have you gone? I'm your student.
Yeah.
And I've heard in your videos, you said whenever you're going to build a business, you go out and you look at the biggest dogs in the block, in the country or the world.
Whoa.
And you go learn from them. You go apply with your own DNA. Wow. Those are your words. I'm like, yes, those are my words. You memorized it. You went through the curriculum. Thank you. And then she said, well, I know you say you don't go to conferences. Aspire is kicking everybody's butt in conferences.
Interesting.
And she said, I need you to go. He goes, you have to go.
Wow.
He goes, you need help. And I said, you're right. Okay, let me check with the wifey. I checked with Denise, and I'm going to be meeting the owners of Aspire. And
Wow.
one over the weekend.
Let's go.
On Saturday and see how we can collaborate. Maybe I'll be there.
That's awesome. Here's the thing, right?
So
I'm a big believer. I'm an old dog that likes to learn new tricks. I don't have it all figured out.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody else is going to have it figured out. We're always here to, how do we learn more? And by learning more and just being open and open-minded, right? Just getting this information. We already know what to extract, what we don't want, and what you said earlier, what inspires us, what makes us who we are.
Yes.
Like, it's cool that you're saying, okay, I've never been, but here I am. I'm going to go. I'm going to be all ears. I'm going to be a good listener. And let's see what I can do to improve. There's nothing wrong with improvement, ever.
I believe our conference was a phenomenal conference.
Yes, it was.
But after the conference, I found about 15 things that didn't work correctly. And, I'm a believer that you should hire slow and fire fast. And, we're reshaping our company. Today is about 5 people that are leaving my company.
Nice.
5 people in my team. And some hurt because I love them.
Yeah.
They're good people. But their heart is not 100% in.
Got it.
I want people that have their heart 100% in our company. So we're cleaning house, getting new talent in, competent people. And our next conference is going to be even better.
That's awesome. Well, isn't that what you also do, like when you're developing something?
Yeah.
When you get subcontractors and stuff like that, they go in there and don't do what they're supposed to.
Yes.
I mean, isn't that part of the learning thing? They got to skedaddle. It's not working out. We got to go. Like, we got a time set because we got to get either tenants in here or we got to put this on the market.
Yes.
Like, time matters.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with, hey, you know what? I'm not always perfect. Certainly, everybody else isn't. And I'll tell you, I'll be the first one here. Like, there's a lot of work that I have to do, you know?
Memo, you are, let's say that you're trying to bring someone in your space and doing loans and at your level.
Yeah.
Let's reference mountain climbing. Let's say you're a professional mountain climber and you're trying to go to Everest. If you take everybody that you want to help to Everest, because it's a healthy thing, because it's good for the body, whatever, you can kill some people.
Oh, of course.
You see, so what we have to do is we go on our climb and the vision that we have. And when we see people that can't go or don't want to go, you don't try to pull them. You leave them there.
Yes.
Leave them there.
Yeah.
And you know what happens? You keep on climbing. When they're ready, they're going to give you a call.
Yeah.
You come down the hill. You say, let's go. You ready now?
Yeah.
Let's continue moving forward.
I like that.
Yeah. So you're not abandoning them, but you're leaving them where they're at because you don't want to hurt them.
That's it. You know, that's it. And some people aren't made for that. You know, we're actually, we're hindering their progress.
Yes.
Because sometimes people aren't meant to be where we're at. They're meant to be wherever their calling is. And sometimes by us keeping them here with us, we're actually hindering them, their growth. So that's the way I look at it. It's like, okay, you're not here. Like, no offense, Chris. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you for being a great person. You know, I'll support you in whatever else you want to do. Nothing wrong with that. I think don't be so hard on yourself. You know, you're such a humble guy. Most people at your caliber be like, just take a hike. See you later, right? But that's not you. No, that's not you because you're always so all about everybody else.
People first.
That's it. I mean, that's the first thing you told me today. I was like, I want you in the podcast. I was just excited. How do I get Chris? Like, bro, I couldn't sleep. Like, I got Chris tomorrow. Like, seriously, I look at that because I know how busy you are. You just mentioned how many transactions you just get. Like, you're losing money right now being here with us, you know?
No,
but yet here you are, right? So I was just so like excited. Like, man, I got Chris over here. Like, I just can't thank you enough, bro. I really can't. And all you said is, I want to go and talk more about how I bring you value. I'm like, what? Are you serious? But it's so cool that you say these things because, again, that's who you are. And that's why I brought a coffee cup that doesn't say Chris Aguilar. It says community lead. They couldn't say leader because it couldn't fit. I wish it did.
Yes.
But that's who you represent. That's what you represent. And I saw that, you know, a couple weeks ago at your conference. I see that what you're doing with your book. You know, I see what you're doing with your family. And I'll tell you, man, we all have a great person next to you. Like, I know Tanya, my wife, bro, I am where I am because of her. And I saw what going back with, you know, Brian asked, like, how did you get there? And I see that your wife has been there. I see the common denominator there.
She's amazing. She's amazing. She's my wife. I won the lottery with her. I love her. I'm obsessed with her. She's amazing.
Awesome. So tell me, what are you hoping to get with this whole TCA? Like, what's your vision? You mentioned vision. You're already taking the action. Where are you at with this?
So TCA is something that God gave me as an assignment.
Okay.
And in this next season, we're going to empower 1,000 people to be millionaires or multimillionaires. We have students that are already millionaires, multimillionaires. You know, we have like, I'll throw some names out like, you know, Luis, Alejandra. You got people that are already doing phenomenal. Alejandra, 15,000 clients. Luis, 4th in the world in EXP with Galen, his wife. You know, and respectfully, we're empowering people that are just starting, 20 years old, already has his wholesaling company, 2 employees under them, you know, with 4 months of our coaching. So God highlighted the 2 things. One, it highlighted that there's people out there, and especially the older generation, that feels that time is running out. And they got to go out and do sporadic things. And sometimes they lose their life earnings, savings, because they make dumb decisions.
Of course, it happens.
And I've seen that a lot. Then I've seen the young dudes that feel that they have the competency, but they don't know how to materialize it. They feel like this country is against them, and they're wrong. So I'm teaching them that this country owes you nothing. What you have to do is go and become the best at what you do.
Let's go.
Equip yourself. Go out and crush it. And now, you got any questions? I've done it. Just ask me. I'm here for you.
I like that.
Because that's my mission. So that's what those two things got put in my heart. So now TCA get birth, after that feeling that got put in my heart, that mandate. And, we're our company, it costs me money to operate this company, a lot of money every month.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I see the results. I mean, I have a guy who got, 4 flips under his belt in the first 2.5 months. Wow. I have another one who has 6 in the pipeline, 3 that he already did. He worked his whole life.
And these are people that have already real estate experience, right?
No. The guy, no. Well, some do, right? Like Louis, of course. He's a beast. Dude, funny thing. I flew to New York with Louis to speak in a conference with him, and man, this is the reason why he is, number 4 in the world with Galen. We went from the airport to have dinner, from dinner to the hotel, from the hotel to the gym, and he probably closed like 3 deals.
Oh.
3 deals.
Yeah.
And like from the airport, but he probably closed deals before he got on the plane. This guy is crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, talking about an executor, Louis is freaking amazing.
No, it's funny you say that because I know at your, when you had your conference, he had already 2. And Ivan was talking about this building that had 150 beds. And our boy brother Ivan too.
Yeah,
that guy has
Ivan's
always
awesome.
something to say, right? He already put a 15. Louis like, well, we offered an 18 million, but they want 25 million for this bill. I'm like, oh my God, this is a lot of numbers for me. You know what I mean? I don't even have that many frijoles to be able to count that much, right? So they're talking and they're already like, oh, I'm like, that's the power of getting a community together. Yeah. When you got different-minded people, but they can collaborate and do big things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you're talking about earlier, you have this new student that came in, no experience, and already has 4 transactions in the pipe, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. I think that's pretty life-changing, bro.
And actually 2 wholesales that I got this week, I'm going to do them with him.
Oh, my God.
Oh, there you go.
That's freaking...
Because I want to...
Keep it in the community.
You see... To he who was a good steward with my time, I would dedicate more time.
That's awesome.
Right? So I want to take you through the process so you can do a wholesale now. I'm going to walk you through the hand, through these 2 deals, and you're going to make some money.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're doing all this coaching and you're falling in with them, because I will tell you, we all need a coach in a different way.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Whether that's the big man upstairs coaching us and just believing in what we're doing, where we go to the gym, it just makes us that more successful and it holds us more accountable.
And you need to pay for coaching.
Of course.
Yeah.
You need to
Of
pay
course.
for
Nothing
coaching.
what comes free, guys.
I always found it funny that in business people shy away from paying coaches, but you look at these athletes, you look at these top performers, and they have a coach for each little thing, and that's why they're able to perform at the highest levels.
Yep.
Because it's not just one training that they're getting; they're like leveling up in every little skill that they can to be able to go out there and perform.
Bro, I have a client. I have a student. So he was struggling to come in our company, and he's like, no, but I just spent $30,000 and an additional $20,000 in this company for coaching in real estate. And I said, dude, it's like ours is $5,000 and it's really good.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. And then he goes, oh, $5,000. I already spent all this money. I said, dude, why are you talking to me then? Like, why are you talking to me? So he bought the membership. A few weeks later, we're able to help him save close to make an additional $100,000.
Wow.
And with 20 minutes with me, and then I asked him the question, dude, is our company is 5,000 expensive? I rubbed it in his face, and he's like, oh, you changed my life forever.
Yeah.
I said, that's right. That's what I want to hear, man.
That's
Let's
awesome.
go.
I mean, if you do your ROI on that, it's just incredible.
It paid itself, and then he paid off his other companies
exactly.
as well.
Yeah, 10x,
That's so
10x,
good.
10x.
Yeah.
So, no, that's awesome, man.
So as we wrap up, is there one piece of wisdom or mantra that you'd like to, share with the audience, personal or business, that you want to leave off with?
In specifically in what? Like,
so anything to do with business, wisdom, anything that you want to leave off our audience, like, hey, if you guys are struggling through this, just share some words of encouragement.
yeah.
Or anything that we didn't touch subjects
Oh,
on.
yeah.
That you,
Or something that you felt like we
Yeah.
didn't ask you, that you
You-
felt people should know.
Something that I felt yesterday, I was doing a podcast yesterday, and I felt like I didn't say this, and I should have said it, because I mentioned that we're all salespeople, and I believe that everyone's a salesperson. You guys are salespeople. I'm a salesperson, and the better the better salesperson you are, the more things you get in life, financially, tangibles, intangibles. For example, I sell myself to my son, my children, and the better I sell myself to them, the better I can steward them.
I like that.
I sell myself to my wife, the better I sell myself to her, the happier she makes me.
Yes.
I sell myself to my employees. The better I sell myself to my employees, the more they produce for my companies.
Yeah.
I sell myself to the guy who I called yesterday trying to close a deal, and he was cursing at me.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, you got it wrong. And I sold myself. He said, thank you, sir. But take my number off the list. I said, no problem. When you're ready, you call me because you need my help.
Yes.
Just save my number, Mr. Steven.
Yeah.
He goes, okay. So I believe that there is a lack of ownership in people knowing that they got to become better salespeople.
Yeah. I like you saying that because it's so true.
Yeah.
We forget that. We treat salespeople like it's a car salesman, like it's a lie, right?
No.
But we forget those things. Even in marriage, even in everything we do, we forget that. We think that when we were first dating, right? You put all the sales tactics into it by bringing roses, opening the door,
So
take
true.
them to a nice dinner.
Yes.
And then once they said I do, you kind of like go back to the dollar menu. There is no dollar menu. You keep saying that
The
at Jack in the
value-
Box,
the
the value
value
meal,
menu.
right? But
It's
you
inflation.
kind of take 3 steps back. You know what I mean? And the good thing in life, you got to continue to sell yourself. So I like that you say that like that because
Yes.
it's so true. We're always selling ourselves of who we are, where we want to be, and we're just keeping the people around us happy because that's how much value that's how valuable they are.
And another thing too that is very valuable is we can't stop this without saying this. Identify your purpose in life.
I like that.
What is your assignment for this season in life? If I was to
Write it down.
You're on a mission. You're on assignment. I know your life, but someone who's listening to us, and I'm asking you, what is your purpose in life?
Yes.
What is it? Could you imagine being 120 years old in a deathbed and not knowing what that is? That will freaking suck.
Yeah.
That's not me.
No.
And I don't want you to be that person.
Yeah.
Find someone that can help you get there. I love one of my quotes that I wrote in my book, and it's on taking action and being obsessive.
Yeah.
And it says success is obsession glued to relentless massive action.
Wow.
And we have to be people that take action on purpose. I'll say
Wow.
that. Yeah.
I mean, this is awesome. I had a
keep
great
going
time.
all
I don't
day.
even know. We can go all day, right? There's just so much more.
Keep it running.
I mean, and since we have you on camera now and it's all recorded, can we get you back?
Yeah, of course.
I know there's going to be a lot of success in your life moving forward in the months to come. You're going to aspire. You're aspiring yourself to do more conferences, right? This is not the first. It won't be the last. And are we able to get you back?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime,
Yes.
man. Love you guys. And dude, before we end up, how can we bring? I know that I can bring value to you, but I want to know exactly what is it that Mortgage Heroes does, so that it's fresh in my head.
Well, right now, what we're trying to do is we're always about giving back.
Okay.
I always feel like I wasn't giving the proper ways of doing things. And I was a seminar junkie. I would go to all the conferences because I wanted to learn from the bigger people. I wanted to just be better for my clients, better for the people. I actually consider my clients family, right? So I'm always just trying to figure out a way, how do I put them in the best direction possible? What would I put myself and their family in?
Right.
And so that's why this year we created Friends of Mortgage Heroes, because we were looking for people like yourself. I feel I'm a community leader.
You are.
Not only do we have Mortgage Heroes, but we have Christian's Big Heart Run. We're always looking at ways how to improve people's lives through whatever it is that we do. So we came with this Friends of Mortgage Heroes, Brian, I, and Andy, and we're like, man, I have so much fun with this because I get to really know more about the person who we're speaking about.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times when we go and we were having friends here and stuff, we don't take that opportunity to really dig in and see what you're all about.
Yes.
Yeah, and even when we meet with our clients, our community, once we meet with them, it's not like just, hey, here's your numbers later. Let me know when you're ready to buy a house. It's like, well, hey, let me take this information, give you my professional outlook. How can I put you in a better position? Give you my advice on, hey, maybe you should tighten up here. Hey, have you looked into investing here?
Yes.
Just kind of open up their mindset to know that there's more opportunities rather than just them stay at their job, that regular rat race. I pay my mortgage, I pass down my house, nothing ever got bigger than that. But everybody wants more in life.
Exactly.
And that's where I feel we do a great job at saying, hey, you can do a lot more. This is just one stop. There's a lot more in life you can accomplish.
Yes.
This is just your door, your way of entry. Now that you got a house, ooh, you're in the game now. And it becomes so fun and so enjoyable to go with them through that process because they really don't know. And we're like, hey, we can actually help you, take you there without asking for anything back. For me, the gratitude of helping and someone to say, hey, I couldn't do it without your help, the way that you did that, the way that you delivered the updates and all that stuff. It really shows that, hey, we're not just here to do your loan, we're here to help you out and continue to stay there for the rest of your life.
Dang.
So you said loan. I want to make sure that I understand it correctly. So you guys do loans, but what kind of loans? What type of loans?
We'll do mortgage VA loans, so helping first-time service members, investor loans, helping people, build their ADUs, use their equity, be able to then invest that equity somewhere else if they want to do ground-up construction, hard money loans, stuff like that. We're able to now, pivot into that realm to give people more than just your mortgage, regular residential financing. We're trying to push that ball down the line and help them, achieve, that secure investment route without having to deviate somewhere else. You're already here, you already trust us. How can we work together and grow together, because we do have a community in itself.
Absolutely.
So question on that. So I have dozens of clients that come through our developing company for ADUs. So you're saying if somebody comes in, they have traditional home, big yard in the back, they want to convert their garage into an ADU and an ADU in the back, and even possibly a junior ADU next to the backyard ADU.
Yep.
That's what we're doing for people. So what kind of loan will you give to someone like that? A HELOC loan? What kind of loan is it?
No, we actually have one right now.
Yeah, it just all depends. But that's exactly just like what you've done in 2009, how you pioneer certain things.
Yeah.
What we're looking at it now is how do we pioneer a way to help people create generational wealth?
Yes.
Through their investment of having a home. And sometimes it could be too much of an expense. So we figure out, how do we figure out ways to leverage your current situation so we can convert that garage into a junior ADU? Because right now we're in a gold mine here in California.
Yes.
It's a gold mine. It's like the gold rush. I'm sorry. The gold rush, right?
Yes, it is.
Back in the day, people would go and let me go
back.
get that. It's back in the ADU way, because our biggest problem in California is supply.
So
Yes.
to answer your
So how
question,
do we get them?
there's different loan products we use.
Yes.
Like, your DSCR, debt service coverage ratio loans,
Okay, yeah.
Hard money,
HELOC,
creative
HELOCs.
financing.
HELOCs.
HELOCs are very
Okay.
famous as well. So just being able to get that money out of their out of their house and then put it to work without them having that mindset of, I'm gonna have to pay so much more money. But what we realize is that once you put the numbers and you really do the due diligence and show them like, hey, yeah, you're taking out this much, your payment's going up that much, but once everything's completed, you're going to be netting this much. So does that amount really seem that big when you're going to be making this at the end, said and done? And the best thing is that you're not coming out of pocket, because your equity at your house that you've already paid down, responsibly, is what's basically putting up the chunk of the change to do the
So
work.
we're talking with clients about NOI now. We're talking about cash on cash. We're
go.
talking about, you're going to rent, you're going to be investor. Help them understand the vision, right?
That's
Just like
it.
you did.
That's it.
How do I get my students to
I
understand the
love this.
vision? How do I get them to really start encouraging them so they create the action?
They feel like
that's
they
what
can.
we're here to do, is to help
that's
them
what we're here
create that action like you.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, I was so excited to have you here,
you.
and again, it's not about us, it's about you, and we're just going to continue to give more to our community by
Yes.
giving them people like this, give them this information.
Come on.
I tell you guys, I hate to wrap it up because I can still go on and
Yeah.
on and on and on, but we got the Chris Aguilar. We're very fortunate to have you. I'm throwing the hearts out there because this boy is nothing but love.
Yeah,
you know?
appreciate your time, man. So
And
good.
Chris, so if anybody needs to get a hold of you, what is the best way that you would say, hey, this is how you can get a hold of me? I know you're super busy. Probably don't give your cell phone. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, I know.
What's another form where we can do this?
So Instagram, our label is Chris Aguilar.
Perfect.
So Instagram, we have 3 people that answer messages there for me. So yeah.
Nice.
We'll make sure we put all that stuff in the descriptions, how them to reach out to you for TCA, your website, and
Yeah.
everything. And thank you so much again, Chris. We really appreciate your time. I know it's not the last time that you come in, but
Uh-oh.
thank you so much for everybody that is tuning in, that's been giving us support. And we'll be back with another episode next week. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that's right. And ask
Let's
any
go.
questions that you have right there. DM us, call us, do whatever you need to do.
Thank you
Let's
guys.
go.
All right.
Let's go.